Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the world of astrology. Welcome to the stars. Welcome, everybody out there. In this clip here, I'm going to talk about Horary Astrology, the art of answering questions from the chart for the moment when the question is asked. And in this clip here, we're going to talk about the most important matter of them all, and that is the love stories, of course. Many questions around Ori come around this matter, of course. Does he love me? Is he the right man? Will he leave me? Will he come back? Is he with someone else? And stuff like this. And in the following 15 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about some examples on this matter here. And I hope you enjoy this. And I'm going to start with example number 1. And this is the chart. You see X come back, question mark. And this was the woman asking about her ex coming back, obviously, or not. She was split up with him, and the question was if he would turn up again. You see, this is from May. This year, it's June now as I speak, mid-June, and we have Venus going retrograde, and lots of love, extra portion of love questions around this time with Venus turning retrograde, I guess. Now, what's the situation here? In love stories or in relationship questions, of course, it's all about your first house and the seventh house, showing the partner or ex-partner in this case. And you look at significators, and you look at aspects, and you look at receptions as well, because this shows the attitude. And of course, there's some other stuff. Let's not make it too difficult for the beginning. Here we have the Leo rising, so the sun is showing the querent, the woman asking the question. We have it here in Gemini, on first degree of Gemini, and we have Mr. X shown by Saturn, because Saturn is the classical ruler of Aquarius. Now, the interesting thing here is that the Sun is running right into a trine with Saturn that's also being retrograde. The retrograde image here in question like this often is read like positive, so the comeback, yes, he comes back because Saturn is retrograde. Also, there's this aspect here, but what we don't have is receptions. Instead, we have Saturn in his own sign, therefore in detriment of the Sun. So, is this guy likely to come over to her? Well, not really. Also, because this is a sixth house here, in rather weak spot in the chart, and the answer was given to the parent that he will not come back, unfortunately. And up to date now, this has proven to be true. I want to point to the moon here as well, because the moon, of course, is the co-significator of the querent in horary charts. And here we have it on 15 Taurus, so it's right in the apex between ascendant and descendant. This is pretty descriptive of the situation, asking this question. Split between her and him, so to say, and but it's not only that, it's also that the moon is exalted. In Taurus, the moon is in the sign of its exaltation, and this often comes with the dreamy thing, with the rosy glasses or the exalting of things, and so pretty descriptive as well, and again making the point that this may be a dream but won't come true. And even more if you know about Antisha, those mirror points, because interestingly here it's not only that the moon is square with these two here with ascendant descendant, but it's also by Antition 15 Taurus goes to 15 Leo exact. So by Antition the moon is on her ascendant, again pointing to like her heart being concerned with herself rather maybe than anything else. So this underlines this dreamy thing kind of story. Yes. So the ex didn't come back by now and won't, as I expect, in the future, sadly. So this is example number one. Now the second example, does he love me? The magic question. Here's the chart. We have a woman that is in a long distance relationship and she says, I don't know, he does manage and makes effort to meet me and see me, and but then he's so closed up and in terms of his emotions, so she was never sure what's the truth, and she was asking, does this guy really love me? And we can see this from the chart pretty well. And as I said, the attitudes most are it's shown by the web of reception, the web of the receptions in the chart. And we read this from there rather than from aspects or so, then of minor importance in a question like this. Now, the approaches, again, we have the ascendant for her, for the parent, and they descended from him, and here we have the main significator Mars for Scorpio showing her, and we have the moon as co-significator for her. And what is the case here? Now we have Mars in Pisces, and this is again is a sign of the exaltation of Venus in this case, and Venus of course is Lord 7, it's him. So this woman, she exalts him, so she adores him maybe, or well, let's say I get to another thing later, but let's say she adores him. Mars is she's all crazy about him or so, this Venus, because Mars exalts Venus. Then the moon is in Leo, so the moon loves the sun, because Leo rules, the sun rules Leo. And in questions of this kind, the man that's asked for gets the sun as a co-significator. So the sun next to Venus is showing him. So the moon is in Leo, she loves him lots, and Mars is exalting Venus, she adores him lots. And let's keep this in mind and now go to his side. We have Venus as set, the main ruler, for him as head, and the sun as co-ruler, particularly showing him as, well, sexual being, animal, impulse, instinct being kind of thing. And what are the receptions of what's going on with those two? First thing is that they are both like in his house or in his second house on his side, Venus being retrograde. But the main point is that there's no interest, no reception at all with either Mars or with the moon, because both planets are in Gemini, and this is ruled by Jupiter, by Mercury, and our two planets here, they don't play any role here. So he's pretty much indifferent to her, to be honest. Well, that's so it's a big deal of difference between her attitude, as ever so often also with horaries. And the men, they just don't make it up to their expectations, like here. So we have her being very much into him, and we have him being very much indifferent to her. It's the thing. We have a sextile aspect here, but that's really of minor importance, as I said. And now to the end I get to the other way of reading exaltation, because Mars exalting Venus is to be read also often like Mars treats Venus like a noble guest. If you're a guest at some place, you get treated maybe better than you deserve. And this is probably the case here. She's being too polite or treating him better than he deserves, and this is confirmed, as I said, it's this Venus and Sun that is mainly interested in his own business. Also, the second house shows his self-esteem, so he may be busy with himself and her just playing a minor role, so to say. This was said to be Querent and was pretty helpful for her. Yeah, that's the Horary mechanics on love stories. So what else do we have? Meet or better don't meet. This is the story of, again, a woman asking, and she knew this guy and they were in loose contact, but she actually wasn't there really looking for someone, as she said. But finally she agreed, quote unquote, to meet with this man. But then she asked this Horary question: is this a good idea? Should I do it? What will come of this? And this was her mind's questions when she pulled this chart for a moment. And this is pretty descriptive too. Again, we have here Mars and Taurus, Scorpio Taurus, giving us the same significance with this kind of thing. And again, we have a similar approach, and we have Mars in Pisces exalting Venus, him. And here is a bit later, and you see Mars here is right between Sun on 12 and Venus on 14 in Gemini. Mars by square is right between, stuck between those two. So this bit of descriptive of the situation of her maybe being pressured or to meet up or something like this. The square, of course, is not the comfortable aspect, so pretty sort of descriptive. And again, we have this story with his significators being rather indifferent towards her, Mars, Moon, because he's busy, similar with himself, so to say. But here also we have, she managed to get the Moon right on 0 Scorpio, so the Moon is, or let's say, put it like this, while her head, Mars, she exalts this guy, she exalts Venus, Mars exalts Venus, she, as in the example before actually, she's maybe being too nice to this man, too friendly, and her heart says otherwise, because the Moon has just left Venus sign Libra, and remember, Venus showing him, and it's this place is the deepest drop, so to say, for Venus stuff, because here it's in domicile and here it's in detriment. So her heart, her Moon, just dropped out of loving him, adoring him, into disliking him, so to say. moon showing her heart, and also being in this 12th house. This is this place of self-undoing. Also the moon, of course, is in via combusta here, so it's weak place of suffering. So is this a good idea to meet this man? He is indifferent, rather, there will be a square, an aspect, it will become exact. He will, she will be stuck between him or covered. Well, my English, I don't find the right words now, but I guess I know what you know what I mean. But she may not feel comfortable, so to say. Her heart is actually in a different position on this. And again, the point with the exaltation, when this was told to the Querun that she may be too polite, too friendly with this man, and her heart was feeling different. And this, she said yes, that may be exactly the point, and she was pretty relieved, or said that helped her, so to say, or she said that seems to be, she sees now that this was the point for her, probably, and that she always or usually is too polite, and took this as a lesson, so to say. Didn't meet this man and kept this in mind maybe for next time, so to say. Well, if you want to apply Antisha, again, you see that Mars by Antition here 14 Pisces goes on 16 Libra, and this is exactly the 12th cusp, and as I said, this is the 12th is the house of self-undoing, so there's even more testimony, so to say, to cancel this appointment. So, yes. Yeah. Now we get to the last example, and this is a bit of, well, plain question. Because, again, this is a woman, it's always the women asking the oral questions enough, isn't it? And this woman was seeing a man occasionally, and she just confessed herself that they only met for sex, mainly for their entertainment. But then again, she did ask this question: is he interested in me just for sex? And again, aspects are minor, and at the receptions is everything, so to say. So what do we have here? Here we have Cancer rising, so the moon is showing her, and we have Capricorn on the descendant, so Saturn is showing him. Again, we have Saturn in his own sign and here in his own house, or on his second cusp of self-esteem, and no reception with the moon. That is her. And but in this case, we have a conjunction, would you imagine, of the both co-rulers, showing them as sexual animal instinct being. Isn't that so surprising? So we have the sex image here, we have the conjunction, but again, there's no reception whatsoever. It's all Mercury stuff, and those planets are pale green here, and is the moon or Saturn. Well, I don't make it too complicated, but there's nothing that goes above the conjunction here, really, from his side. No interest in the moon or in Venus in terms of dignities here. And to add this up, also here we have Mars in square still, and also pretty much making sense because Mars is the natural ruler of sex. And so it was said to the client that yes, he is only interested in you for sex. And the client said, well, okay, that's fair enough, actually. She was quite happy with this, or how should I put it? Yes, it was okay. So this is some examples on love horary readings. If you have your question yourself on your heart, you can post this to me and get your personal reading, not in a clip like this, of course, but in personal, via email, of course. You can email me on this address and it would be maybe 25 euros for you for reading of your question. So, looking forward to hear from you and hope you find this interesting, and till next time.